For this week's Asian Fight with English language commentary, we're looking at the 2018 All Japan Rookie of the Year final at lightweight. It saw Kenta Endo, a 34-year-old southpaw, take on Shoma Okada, a 22-year-old hopeful. Coming into the bout, Endo was 2-1 with 1 knockout, whilst Okada was 4-0 with 2 knockouts. On paper, this looked a really interesting matchup, though Endo did struggle to reach the final, having taken a split decision draw with Hiroto Hoshi in November 2018 in what was the East Japan final. On the other hand, Okada had looked really quite impressive. He'd beaten Akio Tomita in the West Japan final. He'd also beaten Homare Yasue, Nori Takahira, and Takahiro Hamazaki in the 13 months coming into this bout. So he had more experience. But at 22, he was still a bit of a babyface. We just saw him on the screen a minute ago in the leather jacket. And he really did look really young, whilst Endo has the look of a well-weathered man. He may only have had 3 fights before this, but he looks like a fully grown adult. He looks mature, he looks strong, he looks powerful. One thing we saw from him in the bouts that followed this bout was that he really was a strong, powerful guy. He hit like a mule. Bit crude, technically flawed. Given his age, he was certainly no spring chicken. His ceiling was rather limited given his age, but boy could he punch. He was one of those really limited but crude, exciting punchers who, when you see him in action, you know either he's getting knocked out or his opponent is getting knocked out. But at this point, he was still quite tidy. He was still more aware that he could get caught. He's more aware than he became. I think a lot of that is down to the realization that he is too old to really go far in the sport, so could put on fun fights as opposed to necessarily wanting to move his career towards bigger and better things. He was a Taiken fighter, or he is a Taiken fighter. Of course, Taiken are the most famous gym in Japan, the most famous promoter in Japan. They've had an itinerary of who's who of who, including recent fighters like Takashi Miura, Jorge Linares, Roman Gonzalez, Carlos Cuadras, Shinsuke Yamanaka. There's literally, you can go through most of the recent big names of Japanese boxing, and until Watanabe Gym and the Ohashi Gym came around, they were the big one. Okada, on the other hand, he comes from the west of Japan, so he isn't from one of the big name gyms. A lot of the gyms in West Japan are, I don't want to say small or obscure, but they don't get the attention that the East Japan gyms get. So gyms like the Green Suda Gym are certainly less well known than Watanabe, Karawebi. But anyway, he's reached final. He's obviously earned his shot at this annual final at Korakuen Hall. Of course, being at Korakuen Hall, Endo does have the home advantage. He's a man based in Tokyo. It's nice to see that Okada came out firing. He wanted to put the veteran on the back foot immediately. But even looking at them, it does look like Okada is naturally much smaller. I didn't notice this when I first watched this bout. But yeah, it's surprising the sheer size difference, the maturity difference is really obvious. But Okada with a really nice right hand there, and a good left, 2 good lefts from Endo wobbles Okada. You can tell from watching Okada that he probably is technically the more skilled fighter. At least at this point, he looks the more skilled fighter, but he does look so much smaller, so much less mature, so much, I won't say, yeah, he looks like he perhaps should be fighting at 130 or 126 pounds. It looks like Endo, on the other hand, is just a man in there, but credit to Okada, he's taking the fight to Endo. He's not really giving a hoot about what power and what physical advantages Endo has. And yeah, it's nice to see him just standing off, looking for his chances, and then coming forward when he feels confident enough to do so. I don't really think Endo have been tagged much in his first 3 bouts. and not really sure what happened there. But nice uppercut from Endo as well. He is making Okada pay for coming forward. He's catching Okada when he comes forward. But the positivity and the aggression from Okada, even if it's just front foot pressure, it's perhaps not the cleanest punching, it's nice to see. It's nice to see someone actually take the fight to the man that looks like physically imposing. Something we don't really see much of. We usually see the smaller guy backing off and trying to be quick and trying to use skills on the back foot, but it's nice to see him coming forward. Perhaps not a tactic that's working for him at the moment, but it's... well then, the power on Endo's left hand is really terrifying. It seems like every time he lands it clean, Okada looks wobbled for a second or two. To his credit, Okada's taken him well. He's bounced back well. He's probably a good effort in the first round, but again he's wobbled. Fights back nicely, but it just seems like every time he gets touched, he looks in trouble. But real credit to the kid. He's been tagged. He comes forward. He's not backing off. He's putting Endo under pressure. It's very calculated pressure, in fairness to the youngster. But again, he's rocked. His defense is just really, really terrible when he lets his hands go. It's a shame. There's lots to like about Okada, but every time he comes forward, his hands drop. Even his eye looks a bit puffy as well. So clear round for Endo on my card. Despite the fact I did like a lot of Okada's work, I think Endo just landed the much, much better punches. His left hand is just... it's nasty. It's really, really nasty when he lands it. But yeah, good round. Decent round for the opening round. You kind of get the feeling that sooner or later Okada is going to walk on something big. He did take a lot, as you see in the replays, he took some real heavy shots. He's perhaps lucky not to take any of them too clean, but he still took them. He still seemed hurt by them, still seemed troubled by them, and you get the feeling that Endo will sooner or later just take him out with a single shot. But yeah, Okada, you can't question his heart. He's come there to win. You can't really fault him for effort. Just for 4-0, 2K, a novice, a rookie, he does show a lot of rookie traits. He does... again, his guard's just low. He's bizarrely throwing a straight right on there when he was way out of range, and he's getting punished more and more by Endo. Again, you can't fault Okada for effort. His effort is great. He's coming to fight, but he just got tagged and tagged. Lovely little combination there from Endo with both hands. Okada, you could tell he wasn't going to last long the way he's getting tagged, the way he's rushing into shots, and that's a fantastic finish from Endo, who becomes a Japanese lightweight rookie of the year, much to the happiness of his trainer by the looks of it. In the years that followed, Okada, I really haven't followed too well. It's a shame because he looked really fun there. In the end, he hasn't actually fought much since this. He fought once in 2019, losing to Yuya Shimakawa. And then that appears to be it. He's not fought as much as I thought he would have done, given that he's still young. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he will bounce back from back-to-back losses. There's something there to like about him, and I would love to see more of him. As for Endo, he has fought a couple more times since here. He's picked up a couple of wins against Hokuto Matsumoto and Giwon Shin, but was stopped rather impressively by Shun Akaiwa back in February of this year in what was a bit of a minor upset. As mentioned, it does feel like Endo has become a bit more raw and unpolished. Despite getting older, despite supposedly getting more experience, he does seem to fall in love with his power a little bit. Given how he finished this belt, it's understandable, but it is a shame that someone who does show quite a lot of skill here did get a bit too overconfident in his power. As to whether or not these guys are going anywhere, I don't think so. Endo's loss last time sort of left us knowing that his potential isn't going to be very high, and Okada not fighting much since this bout, only fighting once since this bout. It's a shame. I liked what I saw of Okada. I think he had good potential, but again, you lose a bout like this, and it's kind of one that you want to bounce back from pretty quickly, and he hasn't done that. So I would suggest, or rather suspect, that we've probably seen the end of Okada. I think Endo's loss recently is probably the end of him. It's a shame. It's a real shame that less than 2 years after this bout took place, neither guy looks like they're going to go very far. Neither guy looks like they're even involved in the sport and are going to be involved in the sport much over the coming years, and that's a shame. But Rookie of the Year does throw up these sorts of matchups. We're going to now see a replay of this finishing. It's brilliant. A sharp left hook, another left, a right. Lovely little combination. Right, left, right, left. Brutal, raw on the chin as well. Okada got rushing in, got finished. Fantastic finish for Endo. It's a real shame in some ways, not just that he's lost since this bout, but that he had this bout when he was 34. I would have loved to see what a 22, 23, 24-year-old Endo could have done in this spot. I think that would have been a lot of fun to follow. But one of the many what-ifs of boxing. What happened if he turned professional earlier? What happened if he'd had the training and the tutelage at a younger age? What happened if he'd had a long amateur experience? There's something to like about both guys, and it's disappointing that neither guy is going to be going far in the sport. Before we end this, I just want to say thanks to the people who have supported the channel, who support what we do, who share what we do, retweet the things, invite us onto podcasts and these sorts of things, as well as these wonderful people on the screen right now. You're all really, really appreciated. I don't say it often enough, so thank you, and we will see you again with another one of these, probably next week. So thank you, and see you for now.